Welcome back to Enterprise Bank Presents Dollars and Cents. My name is Ken LaValle, and I'm here again for this episode with my co-host Prima Nagathan of Enterprise Bank. And today we're going to have a very interesting conversation with our guest. Our guest today is Mike Gallagher. Mike Gallagher is the Chief Risk Officer and Executive Vice President at Enterprise Bank. Mike really is the go-to person within the bank for all of the issues we're seeing internally and externally when it comes to scams and fraudulent activity, which is really becoming problematic across this region and across the country. We have seen many, many instances where people have been victimized, their money's been stolen through phishing emails, through fraudulent activity on their credit card, and so many other things. So today we're going to have a conversation with Mike about what we can do to prevent yourself and ourselves and everybody we know from being victimized by these individuals who are out there taking advantage of anybody who's online or has bank accounts or whatever the case may be. So I believe, Prima, you're going to start with the first question.
Sure. As we enter the holiday season, people will be online doing shopping for their family and their friends, or whether you're going at the store, you're using a credit card, you're using a lot of your information over the next few months, actually throughout the year. Mm-hmm. So we want to focus on today how our information is prone to being compromised or stolen, and what we can do as consumers and as business owners to protect that information. So with that, Mike, welcome on our show today. And I wanted to ask you, what are you seeing as far as most common types of scams and schemes that are out there that are targeting people?
Well, thanks for having me here. It's a joy to be back here again. I think It's been a couple of years since I've been here. Right. Some of the scams that we're seeing relate primarily to email attempts that people are getting. The bad actors are getting very good at understanding how email works, how to get into email. They have opportunities to either hack into your account or to spoof your email account to make it look like the email is coming from you. A lot of times when you receive an email, the bad actors are getting good at making it look like an authentic email. Mm-hmm. So they'll go through and it'll look like you're getting an email from Federal Express that your package is on the door and it's waiting for you. Click here for shipping information. You click on the link and boom, they either are downloading information onto your computer where they can track your keystrokes, or they've installed a malware, or they're going to mirror your account and watch your account that you have. Mm-hmm. They also could download other types of viruses which could impact your computer in different ways, giving them access to, be it your tax returns, your financial accounts that you have on your computer. Mm-hmm. So anytime that you receive an email, make sure that you know it's from a valid source, that you're you know where it's coming from. Right. If there are any links included within the email, I recommend that you don't click on the links. You go out to the sites that you know are valid sites. Use the paths that you know, or the way to get there that you normally would use. Remember that the people asking for account information or passwords via an email is usually not valid. Some of the scams we have seen, like from the IRS, that says, oh, please, here's the information about your tax return. Right. Click here and send us payment. The IRS is not going to contact you via email. Mm-hmm. So email seems to be that biggest tool that's being used at this time to fool people, to engineer them to respond and to give up information. Yeah.
Now, as far as information, Mike, what type of information are they really looking for, and what are the information that we should be careful or mindful before we just give it out?
Yeah. When you're getting those emails or those attempts, they're trying to solicit information that might include a password, an account number, your social security number, date of birth. We call it non-public personal information. Mm-hmm. That information that you keep most dear, that you protect the most, try not to give that out, be it through email, over the phone, because we're seeing a lot of phone scams as well. Right. People calling up trying to get that information from you. The longer you can protect that, the better you are. Last year we had the big compromise with Equifax that a lot of people's information was compromised, basically half the United States, people around the world. So most of us have been impacted by this. So your information may be out there, but you still have to be vigilant in guarding that information, not giving it out, especially through email.
Right. Over the past few weeks, you mentioned the credit bureaus, the Equifax compromise. I heard that there is some new credit freeze that's being offered through these credit bureaus. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that, Mike? What is available to people?
Sure. The credit bureaus are responsible for collecting all your information from various financial institutions and credit cards, and they compile it into one report called your credit report. Now, your credit report you have access to. You can get 3 free credit reports from the different credit bureaus each year. So I would recommend that you access the credit reports, review it periodically to see what's happening. It will also track any time there's an inquiry into your credit, such as if you go to apply for a loan, they have to go out and check your credit. What you can do is you can place a credit freeze on your credit report. And what that will do is will prevent anybody from running a credit report on your account. So if someone is trying to apply fraudulently using your information, they'll be frozen at the credit report. What would happen if you are applying for credit, you will have to go out and unfreeze your credit report in order for them to pull a credit report on you before that works.
Okay.
It was recommended as part of the Equifax breach that people do place a credit freeze on their accounts, and I believe now it is free of charge to anybody who wants to place that.
You know, following best practices, and it's ironic that I was trying to protect my accounts and make sure that I was not to be victimized, so I did ask Equifax for a credit report, which I received. But when I did that, unfortunately, then that opened me up to that breach, and my data was stolen. So now you try to do the right thing, and sometimes it backfires on you, and it certainly did in my case. But Mike, I think one of the things I'm very curious about, and something that we've seen a lot of, is the CEO scam email or the CEO phishing email. Tell us how that works.
Yeah, we have found a lot of people as a victim, and we call it the CEO scam because usually it will target the email account of a CEO, but it can really be any senior person, any owner of the account. And what the bad actors will do is they will gain access to the CEO's account. They'll monitor the account. They'll find out who has the authorization to initiate transactions on behalf of the company. So they know who to target as far as sending the emails. Sometimes they intercept emails or they may spoof the email address. And what they'll do is they will send an email pretending to be the CEO or the owner of the company. They will direct someone to transfer funds electronically on their behalf. They'll use the same mannerisms and characteristics that are typically used by a CEO in the email. They'll have the funds going to an account that is similar to what they have used in the past, and they will demand payment is done. They will usually say they are not available. Either traveling, they can't be reached by phone, just take care of it. So
So what they're trying to do is talk to the person who works with them and say, don't try to contact me, don't bother me, get this done, do it immediately, and they're almost intimidating these people into doing and they believe it's the CEO giving them these instructions, when in reality.
So you want to actually react, quickly work on what your boss or your management team is asking you to do, and I can see how quickly people might follow through without really verifying.
Thinking about it, exactly.
And it falls under the category we call social engineering, and that's where people are trying to engineer you to do what they want. A lot of times they will use that brute force where they will make you feel bad. They'll play on your emotions, and we've seen that in other types of scams as well.
Absolutely.
Mike, one of the things I kind of want to fall back on, the emails that are coming through, looks like it's coming from a valid source, but typically it's not. It's a scam. And you said by clicking it, it could cause some type of a damage to your computer, or they might steal your information. On that, I've been hearing a lot about ransomware. What is ransomware, and how does that work? And tell us more about it.
Ransomware is one of those crazy things that I hope no one is ever a victim of it. So with ransomware, what they will do is they'll gain access to your account, be it through a phishing attempt or some other way in which they install a virus onto your account. They will go after your backup information first, then your main database, and then what they will do is they will encrypt that information so that you no longer have access to it. And then they'll send you an email and say, unless you pay us a ransom, usually in Bitcoin or some other cryptocurrency, then you can't have access to your information.
And it's almost impossible to, if you don't want to follow through, because it's sort of an extortion. And how have people been able to, even if they paid, have you seen that they've been able to retrieve their information and?
Yeah, once you
Get
get that email and you decide not to pay it, chances are you're going to have a very difficult time unless you have a separate backup stored somewhere else. The federal government recommends that you do not pay the ransom. We're not even sure if when you pay the ransom you will get that access to your information back. It's about 50-50 right now as far as people getting the access back. Sometimes a lot of people aren't prepared for it and they are ending up paying the ransom. Thankfully, the ransom is usually a small dollar amount that they're asking for, a couple $100. So it may be worth it. But remember that if you do pay that ransom, they've gotten access to your computers once. They may have embedded a sleeper program where they can get in there again in the future.
Unbelievable.
So what can people do if that happens? Like, is there someone that they can go to report or get some assistance if you don't know how these things work?
Yeah, as far as technology crimes and reporting them, we certainly want to make sure you stop it as quickly as possible, and then becomes the process of following up and recovering as best you can. The FBI does have resources. If you go out to the Federal Trade Commission, they have a page on what resources are available to individuals. We always recommend contacting local law enforcement. It's very difficult though, because the laws that are associated with cyber crimes have not really kept up with the crimes themselves. It's very difficult to trace a lot of these back. We are finding that a lot of them are originating in the Eastern European nations. So it's difficult once you're across the ocean to track these back to various countries. So
it's difficult, but they have to report it just so if there's other victims within the area or within the region.
And that will start the process. Like you said, there might be multiple victims in the region, and it will help you document in the event that you do have protection to collect on any insurance or coverage that you might have.
It's really scary, the amount of fraud, but I think just a little caution and just being a little bit mindful, taking a step back and saying, wait a minute before I jump into action and send out my information or the money. I know there's a lot more we want to talk about computer safety, but we have to take a quick break. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
This program is proudly sponsored by Enterprise Bank, a full-service commercial institution serving 17 communities. Enterprise Bank helps create successful businesses, meaningful jobs, strong, vibrant communities, and opportunities and prosperity for our customers, shareholders, and employees. To speak to an Enterprise advisor, call 978-459-9000 or visit our website, enterprisebanking.com. Enterprise, an independent bank with community at its core. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is Prema Nagathan from Enterprise Bank, and I want to welcome you back from our break. We are on Enterprise Bank Presents Dollars and Cents, and our guest today is Mike Gallagher, and we're talking about cybersecurity. So Mike, I think pretty much most of the individuals now own either a smartphone, a laptop, an iPad, various different gadgets. And we rely on our gadgets quite a bit these days, whether it's on the personal front or on the business front, and we put a lot of information on there. And in talking to you in our first segment, a lot of information can get compromised through these devices. What should one be mindful of when using a smart device?
So smart devices are, as small as they have become, be it your phones or your tablets, they are full-powered computers, and they hold a lot of information can be stored on them. So a lot of people have access to their bank accounts, their investment accounts, their tax returns are right on these small devices. So when you're using those devices, one of the things we often recommend is don't use a public Wi-Fi that's unsecured. And anytime you're trying to access an unsecured network, it will tell you right up front, this is an unsecured network. Remember, when you're using those types of networks, you're opening a door to the world. You're opening it to look out the door, but anybody can walk in your door when you open that door. I remember back when I was in college, we had an information security course, and one of our students said he had gone out to the internet, purchased a program for $19.99, sat down in the Suffolk University Library and captured information off a number of laptops and computers right in the school library. So
Wow.
people just aren't aware or
Yeah.
sensitive to what's happening around them.
Right.
You should always make sure that you utilize the passcodes that they have or the biometrics, which might be your face recognition or your fingerprint recognition to lock your devices when you're not using them.
Right.
If you are relying on a password, make sure you're using a complex password, which uses a combination of numbers, letters, uppercase, lowercase, symbols, which will make it a little more complex.
Right.
If you simply rely on letters and a common name, it will take a bad actor about 3 seconds to decrypt your password.
3 seconds. Oh,
3
that
seconds.
is unbelievable.
If you incorporate numbers into it, it will take them a little bit longer, about 30 seconds. If you start to incorporate symbols, numbers, uppercase, lowercase, it could take up to 3 years.
Yeah.
And these bad actors, they're really after a quick hit. If they can get through, they're
Right.
getting through, and
Right.
they're not going to spend time on it.
Right.
So use the complexity that is available to you, and you should be in much better shape.
Isn't it true that people can figure out what your password may be by just monitoring you on social media and seeing what your dog's name is or your kid's name is or whatever the case may be? Is that possible?
That is absolutely possible.
Yeah.
We find that a number of people still continue to put their passwords on, be it on their keyboard, on their screen.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see.
They'll keep it close to them, or
Right.
they'll use something that's very common to them.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the cell phones have a 4-digit passcode
Yeah.
to access your phone. A lot
Right.
of people are still using their birthday.
Right.
So it's very common,
Yeah.
people looking at social media, where you live, the names of your pets, and the names of your kids
Right.
are very common passwords that are used.
Yeah. One of the things I had seen was surveys that they post on social media, and you
yeah,
think
yeah.
it's a general survey
Right.
about what you like to eat or where you might live and your name of your pet, not realizing some of this information is probably part of the password. So you're right, Mike, is to say keeping passwords complex. Now, when you say complex passwords, what are some of the general recommendations for a password?
So most passwords or the password settings are established by the companies that are offering the software to you. They will determine the length and the complexity of the password that you have to use. And they're starting to give you an indicator at the bottom to tell you whether it's a weak password, a good password,
Yep.
or a strong password.
Right.
You always want to play around with your password to make sure it's a strong password. And when you're using passwords, try not to use the same password consistently with all your different applications. Because once they find you have a password in one application, there's a good chance you're using it someplace else.
Right.
And they're going to try to add in other applications as well.
Sure.
And they have bots that will automatically go out there and do this for them. So
Okay,
once they have access, they're going to try all the different major applications that are out there and see if they can get into it.
You know, I'm intrigued by the concept of cyber insurance. Explain what that is, Mike.
Oh, cyber insurance. So the insurance folks are smart people. They'll sell you insurance to cover just about anything.
Yeah.
So over the past few years, they have developed cyber insurance, and cyber insurance is mainly designed for businesses to protect them in the event that they are a victim
I
of
see.
a cyber attack.
Right.
And it can protect anywhere from resumption of business, it can protect against the equipment you might have, the systems you might have, the people who were impacted or affected by the breach itself. The insurance companies have become much more aware of how this works and how difficult it is to prove how a cyber event took place. So you have to be very aware of the provisions of your cyber policy, making sure that you understand what events will be covered
Right.
and what events won't be covered. It's really in your hands to
Yeah.
determine that.
Right.
You can certainly work with your insurance company or insurance agent to better understand those. There's a lot of information that's out there in regards to cyber insurance,
Yeah.
but it's still evolving. It really hasn't trickled down to individuals at this point.
Right.
A lot of individuals will have protection for credit card transactions, debit card transactions with a no liability limit.
Right.
But you still may find yourself a victim with no recourse
Sure.
because the insurance is not available
Right.
to you.
So potentially, you could own a business, be victimized by ransomware, and have insurance to cover that loss.
Potentially.
And
yes.
you could then have, reinstate all of your files and not have to pay the ransom,
That's true, if your policy covers
if your
that.
policy covers it.
And
Very
depending
interesting.
on how you actually received the ransomware and how it got onto your system.
Right.
If it was your fault,
Right.
then no, you're not going to be covered.
Really?
But if you were a victim of an attack, then you probably would be covered.
So it's definitely worth looking into, especially if you're running a business.
Right.
This could cost you a lot of time and money
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
if you get victimized.
And unfortunately, at the bank, we receive calls on a regular basis as far as what has happened with various ACH transactions or wire transfers or even checks.
Right.
And one of the first questions we ask is, do you have insurance
Yeah.
to cover you? And they'll say, what do you mean insurance? And we'll mention cyber insurance, and they'll say,
Right.
no, we don't have that.
Right.
They'll try and go back to their general liability, and they'll find they don't have coverage under
That
that.
doesn't cover it.
Right, most
Interesting.
times they don't.
And the point you just made about people reaching out to us, our customers contacting us, we are ready, willing, and able to assist in any way, shape, or form when our customers are victimized in such a manner. Is that correct?
Without doubt, we have a team, our risk management team, where if someone calls into the bank and suspects they are a victim of identity theft or a fraudulent attack, a cyber attack,
Right.
And we'll walk them through all the steps. We want to make sure that their financial accounts have not been impacted. We'll go through, we'll work with them to review transactions and to see what their liability might
Sure.
be and to help them contact the right agencies, and if we have to work with other financial institutions, we'll do that as well.
And I would imagine most financial institutions offer the same,
Services.
level of service, right?
Yes, most
Yeah.
banks have departments specifically designed to help customers with this.
Very good.
Now, if a customer or a person has his information compromised and they lost funds, financial loss as a result of that, would the bank typically reimburse them, or how can they try and recover those funds?
Prima, that's a great question.
Yeah.
And that's a question that we have with every transaction. And the best I can answer is each transaction is unique and each event is unique. Sometimes you will be covered if you are using a debit card or a credit card. Chances are there will be no liability to the consumer. Depending on the nature of the compromise, if it happened on your system versus if the bank's system was compromised, will determine who is at fault and who has liability for it. But and each one will go through an in-depth review to review with the customer what had happened and to get the facts and circumstances. In rare occasions, we have to go through and use forensic information and do a deeper dive to determine what the nature of the cyber attack was.
One of the things we have always constantly talked about on this show is really reviewing your accounts regularly.
Right.
Whether it's through your statements, a great way now, if you do have a smart device, if you have access to a computer, is to get online access to your banking so you can take a look at it as things are coming through. Anything that banks generally offer as far as alerts and notifications, I know I get notification when I use my credit card, typically over a certain dollar threshold. Any recommendations on that, Mike, as we start to wrap things up?
Yeah, and I think many of the credit card companies are now alerting individuals and allowing individuals more flexibility in controlling the security on their cards and what they have. At Enterprise Bank, we just rolled out some features that allow you to set certain features on your debit card as far as preventing transactions and misuse on those. Be aware of what your providers are making available to you and utilize those. Know what the privacy settings are, not only with your financial accounts, but even your social media accounts or any account you have, because those privacy settings are really going to control who can see the information that you have.
And those settings keep changing constantly as is new rules, regulations being enforced. So it almost seems like you have to keep going back to those and checking if it's still up to date.
Yes,
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
And phone scams continue to be a problem. I think there's probably not a person in this room who hasn't received that call
Yeah.
that the local police are coming to get you because you owe money to the IRS and you better
Right.
call this number right away. And sometimes you get these calls over and over and over again. And recently, I received, and I know other people received, a phone call from someone speaking in Chinese.
Yep.
And speaking, and who knows what they were saying, but the
Yeah.
point is, there's always these attempts being made, and I would assume they were targeting people in the Chinese community.
Sure, yeah.
And there was some type of a scam involving them as well.
And most of these scams are generated by computers. So
Really?
they're sent out simultaneously.
Yeah.
So that if you do pick up the phone, then a live person will jump on the phone.
Right.
The one that you mentioned in Chinese, we actually knew a company where one of the people, there were 75 people who got the call simultaneously. One of the people picked up the phone, spoke Chinese,
Really?
and had just traveled to China
Right.
and took it very seriously, was
Right.
ready to go to the embassy. We were contacted, and we were able to talk them out of that and
Right.
stop them from getting
Right.
scammed.
They just happen to find the right person.
That's right.
That
And that's
understood
what they
the-
do. They spread a wide net, and they try and get
Yeah.
you a lot of people, and they'll get
And
one
what
out
was
of
the nature
100.
of this phone call? What were they trying to convey to the person?
In this particular one, it dealt with the passport.
Really?
And they said the information on the passport was fraudulent, and the husband was being detained at the
Really?
embassy,
Yeah.
and he
Wow.
was traveling at
Yeah.
the time.
So, yeah.
So she believed the
Right.
information on the phone call and was more than willing to go to the embassy, prove that
Right.
he was a real person, the
Right.
information was correct, and pay whatever funds were necessary.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Well, there's
It just
certainly
never
no
ends.
shortage. There's no shortage
never
of
ends.
these types of schemes.
And they're coming up with new strategies every single day to try to steal your money. And we're here to try to prevent that from happening.
Right. So hopefully this information that we talked about today will reach out to our audience listening to this, and they can share it with their family and their friends, because this is so important.
right.
Your information is valuable. Your money is valuable. And I think we all have responsibility to really protect our information, and then knowing the resources, whether it's a financial institution, if you bank with Enterprise Bank, certainly reach out to our risk management team. We are also part of the risk management
Absolutely.
team, and we
Yep.
can certainly give some guidance and reach out to some resources for assistance. Anything else we want to?
You know, I think that you said it, you really said it. We're here to help, and
Yeah.
we want to help our customers, but even those who aren't customers, we'll gladly assist them. So we hope you've enjoyed this episode of Enterprise Bank Presents Dollars and Cents. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you soon.